Good morning, Smackdown. Welcome to DDE Friday Morning Smackdown. We're live from Baltimore. I am DDE running the show, calling the action. We're gonna kick it off with the DDE Champion Gunther. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CJ Perry, Beverly Hill, and the DDE Champion, the ringer, Gunther. That was a huge match with Cody Rhodes in the main event. Hear me, ladies and gentlemen, rejoice, cause you are in the presence of the DDE Champion Gunther. How dare you boo? How dare you boo Gunther? Who you should really boo is Cody Rhodes. Who you should really boo is Triple H. Triple H was once a gentleman like myself, but now he is nothing more than a politician degenerate. At WrestleMania with my lady at my side, I will put an end to degeneracy and bring honor to this great sport of pro wrestling. I will submit my legacy. Thank you, Beverly, for the great introduction. See, Cody Rhodes took great offense. He looked into my eyes last week and he saw a machine ready to destroy. Cody Rhodes is just like the rest of you people, fans, box, if you call it. See, Cody Rhodes has done nothing great in his career. Obviously, last week I struck a nerve when I mentioned his father and how much of a failure he was. And I mentioned his brother, how much a failure he was. How much of a disgrace he was to his whole bloodline. Cody Rhodes knows that if Dusty Rhodes were in this ring, I would choke him out and bring more shame to the Rhodes name. Because Cody, you were an embarrassment. Enough, Gunther. We have absolutely had enough of you. This is the last time you will ever mention my family in your mouth. Yes, we all know you, Gunther. You like to get under your opponent's skin. You like to be ignorant. Last week as I stood where you were exactly standing and you shouted insults to my family as I did nothing, I had to think, why? Why do you do the things that you do? Is because you're insecure. Insecure about what? What are you hiding, Gunther? The fact of the matter is, what happens in the dark always comes to light. And at WrestleMania, I'm going to expose you for what you really are and what you are. And Beverly, you better watch how you're looking at me, son. Before I hit you so hard, you have to unlatch from Gunther. Kid, I feel sorry for you because you're going to get stranded after WrestleMania after I beat you for that championship. And what you are, Gunther, is a weak Beverly, I'm gonna make you a star. Don't worry. I'll see you next week, kid. But Gunther, I can see it in your eyes. I didn't see a machine. I saw someone who's scared. I look in your eyes right now. You're scared because you know your time is up. Because we already had the rise of the ring general. Now we're going to have the fall. Because when I beat you for this at WrestleMania and you're looking up at the lights and you're contemplating life, I want you to think to yourself how much of a disappointment you are to Europe. Strong words from the challenger. Wait a minute, Gunther from behind and whip off from Cody. And out goes Beverly Hill. They're pulling herself up in Rhodes. Rhodes got the champion. Rhodes has a champion. Crossroads. And Cody Rhodes is standing tall over the ring general. Can we see this image at WrestleMania?
I am Brenda Sparks here with the Smackdown Tag Team Champions, the Crusher Brothers. Crusher Brothers, you have wanted this time to discuss your WrestleMania future.
And even though it's great that God bless us with a pair of lungs to be here in Baltimore. Even since the Rumble, even before the Royal Rumble, me and my brother Zach have been thinking about how FTR beat us. I mean, if we would have lost our first tag team match in DDE normal, straight up, without cheating, we would have been fine. We would have slept that morning knowing that we gave it all we had. Tell him, Zach. And FTR disobeyed our trust. Much as we respect FTR respects us. I thought that match would have ended cleanly, but we were wrong. So we need to make it right. So at WrestleMania, we're going to give you what you want, FTR. The Crusher Brothers, FTR at WrestleMania for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. And you know, since we beat you clean and you beat us unfairly, how about we make it a best 2 out of 3 falls? You don't have to prove anything. You need to prove to us and to everybody else that you can beat us clean. You better bring the best FTR you can in Japan. Because if not, we will crush you. And now it's time for some action. It's like just going on. This is the King of Black, Brodie King. The King of Black, Brodie King is in action. Next, he's been butting heads with Jacob Bradley as of late, and his opponent, Here we go, starting off hot. Here comes Brodie King. A big shot to the midsection, rocking Van Dam. Brodie with a splash in the corner, nobody home. And Van Dam catches Brodie on the chin with a heel kick and a rolling thunder. 1, 2, and a kick out by Brodie King. Barely a 2. And now Van Dam look for 5-star frog splash. Can he hit it? And Brodie back up. Oh, Van Dam was distracted. Took too long. And drops Van Dam on the top of his head too. And King picks up the victory. There's that Brodie. Wait a minute. You heard the screech. Jacob Bradley and Brodie King have been fighting all over you. Baltimore, what's going on, baby? Oh, Brodie, me and you have been having some problems lately. You're gonna look me in my eyes. Fighting everywhere. We fight in the parking lot. We're fighting this ring. We're fighting out here. But as we approaching DDE WrestleMania in Japan, I did some studying about the legendary matches in Japan. I'm talking about the real cowboy Stan Hansen and Big Van Vader. Here's what I'm thinking. What if we make a legendary of our own? A history of our own? What if it's Brodie King and Jacob Bradley and we gonna fight like men at WrestleMania, baby? Straight up fighting, that's what everybody wants to see. What a match that is, but see, it's a contract signing tonight, you know, just arriving tonight. The Intercontinental Champion, Bron Breakker, and the other end of the arena, the ruler over FEMI, the challenger. They're all here tonight for the contract signing, for one of the biggest matches in WrestleMania. And in the ring, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. We're about to go out with Bryan Danielson himself. DD, really? What are you talking about, Brian? I gotta film this. It's supposed to be a teachable moment for you. Put the camera down so you can focus. All right, well, I'll see y'all later. Deuces. I think that'd be a great idea to learn from one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time and his opponent, accompanied by DDE, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Wrestlers will kill for that opportunity to get under the learning tree of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time, switch into a guillotine. See Bryan, nice counter by Jeff Jarrett, big lariat, and a knee drop. Here's the cover, 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Brandon trying to get a better look at the action. And you see Jeff Jarrett look for figure 4 on Brian. Kickoff and a big roundhouse kick by the American Dragon. Brandon, are you looking? But the kick is freaking heading. The kick is freaking heading. He will. And stomps to the head of Double J. And now Brian gonna switch it over to a label lock. A label lock that blows to the head. And now the label lock. And Jarrett has no choice but to tap out. We're in this match. Nice submission. Brian Danielson. BDE, you saw that? Good. I hope you learned a lot from that match. So you're going to do the exact same thing next week, and I'm going to give you your final evaluation. What in the world does that mean for BDE? But he makes his debut next week.
Once again, I'm Brenda Sparks here with LA Knight. LA Knight, you are the biggest match of your career as you take on Stone Cold Steve Austin. How are you going to prepare for this match?
Brendan, let me talk to ya. I can lie and say I ain't got to prepare for this match because I stay ready. Nah, this is one of the greatest of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Man who I grew up with, idolized as a kid. Who I idolize is not the man who stands before you today. Stone Cold is a shell of himself with the Empire. He's a man who doesn't think, doesn't act the same way as he once did. See, I don't want to face that Stone Cold. I want to face the old Stone Cold. Stone Cold, who's the rattlesnake. The Stone Cold broke his neck and still won the Intercontinental Championship. I want the old Stone Cold. I want the Stone Cold who filled his own boss's car with cement. That's the old Stone Cold I want. If I don't get that Stone Cold, let me tell you what's going to happen. He's going to be laid out flat with a little blunt force trauma. I'm raising my hand and he hears everybody in Japan saying LA Knight. Yeah. Now it's time for a grudge match. Mysterio, Tyson Kidd, and Bunheads as Mysterio's trying to get retribution from the Hart Foundation, and Tyson Kidd out of nowhere with a steel chair. What a crack! What a crack from that steel chair! And no, he's gonna do exactly what he did to Bret Hart. Ray's had 7 surgeries on his left knee. You can't possibly take this. Don't do this, Tyson, please. I know you got a black heart. No! Is he here? Is he here? He is! The best there is! The best there was! The best there ever will be! The man Tyson Kidd took out for months his own family! And now Tyson's fleeing the scene with exactly how he has Rey Mysterio! Bret Hart is back! Hold on, Tyson. I'm not gonna let you do what you did to me to Ray. And Ray, I thank you for sticking up for us. But this is family business. And Tyson, how could you? How could you do that to Anvil? We haven't seen him since. His career is over now. I don't even know if he's gonna be able to come back. And Tyson, what you did to me is unforgivable. You turn your back on your old family. I'm gonna give you what you're owed, and that is a king. And I'm gonna get my revenge for Anvil at WrestleMania. What a match that could be! Bret Hart will finally get his revenge to Tyson Kidd. But speaking of WrestleMania, a match that was announced, the Great Muta will take on Shinsuke Nakamura. And we have a word from Shinsuke, how he feels about this matchup. Great Muta, you were a hero of mine. Now what you did to me and to the Sheik, I will need my revenge. As we go home to Japan, I will take you out once and for all. Destroy the legend of Great Muta. I have equipped You're missed. And in the ring for the Women's Championship match, Mercedes Mone. She is the DDE Women's Champion. AJ Lee. Mercedes interfered in AJ's title defense last week against Bianca Belair. And now they thought it was fair for Mercedes to get a shot at both these women, brawling before the bell. And here we go. The fight is on. It's a stiff shot, stiff right hands by AJ Lee. And now kicking AJ out of the ring, Mercedes gonna head to the road with a tope suicida. It looks like Mercedes is busted open from some of those punches. And now Mercedes gonna take apart my table as AJ and Mercedes head up onto the table. Now suplex from the announcer's table to the floor. There's barely any padding on that floor. And now Mercedes and AJ in the ring. Wait a minute. Bianca Belair. The woman, here we go, the woman Mercedes cost the title last week, and Mercedes been beat down by Bianca. Now AJ pulling Bianca out of Mercedes. Now Mercedes going back after AJ, and now Bianca going after Mercedes. So much action going on in this matchup. Hold on, stop it. Ladies, stop. All right. Bianca, you want a shot at the Women's Championship. Mercedes, you want a shot at the Women's Championship. So this is what we're going to do. At WrestleMania, it will be a triple threat match. AJ Lee, Mercedes Mone, Bianca Belair for the DDE Women's Championship. This got cut off by the ruler. Because it's time for a contract signing. Please welcome the It is the contract signing for one of the biggest and most anticipated matches in WrestleMania history. FEMI versus Bron for the Intercontinental title. Baltimore. I'm gonna cut right to the chase. Bron come down here and let's make it official. Sign the contract right now. And here comes the genetic anomaly. The biggest dog in the yard. The next big thing. The Intercontinental Champion, Bron Breakker. Man, I cannot wait for this match. Bron Breakker took out FEMI last week, and he's coming right to the chase and signed the contract. Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. I know. I can see in your eyes. The first time we met, I saw fire. I saw a man that is unstoppable. But when I look in your eyes tonight, I see a man who knows that I'm the only man on this planet that can beat you. That fact is proven because when I put you in the dirt last week, in that barricade, like a weak little puppy, yeah, you might have got the better of me. But I showed you and I showed everybody I'm not afraid of you, and why I am the biggest dog in the yard, and why I'm the champ. So at WrestleMania, I'm gonna finish you off before you even get started because I am the next big thing, but I'm gonna be the big thing after I'm done with you. It is different when I see your eyes as well. Because when I saw you for the first time in Africa, you looked scared. And you were scared because you knew I was a threat. You knew I was gonna be a problem, and I showed you why I am the bringer of war. I am the mountain you will not be able to climb at WrestleMania. Bron, you're right. You might be the only person that can beat me. But I am the only person that can stop you. And at WrestleMania, I'm not just taking the championship, I am taking your head so I can rest at my throne. You unstoppable forces, what is gonna happen at WrestleMania? Breaker gonna fly over the table, and through the table goes Breaker. Bro, FEMI stands tall once again. Shows why he is the next Told you I'll change your mind about that match. Now, DDE. And oh my gosh, folks, I forgot we're still on air. I am Adam Cole, and this is the Adam Cole Show. DDE is being under new management. Why don't you say hello to all the people at home? What do you always say? Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.